The moment that I found out that I was not alone in the struggle, we have been told that if we knew that we were enslaved, that maybe more would have been delivered. That's an untruth. I found out that our ignorance did not come overnight. I found out that we were really never ignorant to what all was taking place with us. I found out that we were rather robbed through memory loss of rape, abuse, and things that was happening to us. Our enemies really didn't even have a probable cause for what took place. They only justified it by the behavior in which they displayed. When your enemy is so cruel to a face that looks similar to them, to a people that is just like them, sometimes to even family members, it shows that there was nothing to them to begin with. When I started to think about certain things that had taken place and the reason why I had nothing to inherit or to pass down to my children, I realized that there was a plot against me or a plot against me decades ago. As a child, I sat in classrooms empty, mentally, physically, and emotionally drained from the puppeteering that took place and the manipulation and dark psychology the night before the class. I realized that I was manipulated into even dating men, women, or anything else that one can say that they would date. It came from the same psychology that made me dumbfounded in class as a child. It came from drugs being pumped into my body while my vision was impaired. Because with vision impairment, we can actually say this person is psychologically inadequate and we are capable of doing many things to this person. It wasn't until my awakening when I heard the words, "We won't have a job anymore," and my being put back to sleep let me know that this plot was only to hold me in this situation so one can be financially stable. We call this state comatose or coma state. But what happens when you're awake and these same things are taking place? What happens when you wake up and your vision is impaired because we have created technology that says that we want the blind to be able to see. But this technology needed to be aided. So what happened to little children? Things were thrown in their eyes on purpose, from Pradesh to trash and other things, causing certain things we call cataracts, when truth be told, our eyes was under attack so that they can put devices in them so that we would not be able to see, because they wanted control over you and me. What happens when we want people to hear? So we created devices so that others can be able to listen and be able to know and be aware and not be dumbfounded. But what happens when those devices end up into someone who does not need them because another person wants to take control of one's hearing? So everything that God's people created to benefit others under God's wings was used as a device to attack others while God wasn't watching. What happens when you're not able to smell because your brain cannot sense certain things? So, what was created was a device that's supposed to actually assist in your senses being enhanced so that you can actually be able to feel again, because we had to deal with many people who could not feel. A device that stopped you from feeling, a device that stopped you from knowing whether or not you were being touched or anything at all, because we were taking care of someone's disability or the fact that they were actually being tortured by not being able to feel anything at all and being abused. So we dealt with the demons of this situation, and yet and still, while dealing with the demons of the situation, the demons got angry and began to find ways to attack from the cure. They talk about the cure to wellness. The cure to wellness was the fact that they were attacking everything that was used to actually heal. So anything that would heal you, they attacked it to harm you. And that's the cure to wellness. The cure to wellness was a curse of sickness and to keep people in a permanent state of being ill. No one talks about these things. No one knows about these things. We just continue to move forward as if they were not happening, not because we were not aware, but rather because of the fact that in an Alzheimer's society, we were supposed to increase memory. But the cure to wellness said the increase of memory can be reversed by decreasing it. And so the illness of Alzheimer's got worse. So you could not remember that man that raped you that night as you came home. So that you could not remember coming in from work at about 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, laying down pregnant with your child, and a man on top of you raping you. So that you could not remember all the abuse that happened to you. So they use Alzheimer's to deal with this. The cure to wellness. We heard of people suffering from dementia, and we found out that, truth be told, it was something else. It was multiple devices being used against innocent people to take away their health. We talk about, why would a person blind you for no reason? And the fact that this was actually used in cultic behavior to actually fellowship one with another, and the same people that are attacking you have the same devices in them but use it for their own wellness. So their memory is extensive, but your memory is lost. They keep the same devices in them so that they can see what you cannot see, whether it's through x-ray visions or multiple different things, because technology has taken on a whole new form. When I heard of the exoskeleton, no one really knew what it was. But truth be told, the exoskeleton was supposed to actually heal bones. But what they didn't tell you, I woke up to being beat by a metal exoskeleton that was used for war. And it was supposed to actually help in war. Everything that the inventors created for healing was used to sit up there and destroy the well. The enemy got hold of these devices, got hold of education, and said, hey, we're going to keep them dumb as hell. They got a hold of technology and say, hey, this is supposed to actually better society, but we will use it as we please to destroy anyone that we want. When we were only trying to destroy the fact of us never meeting. We learned so many different things over time. We built video games, and we decided that these video games would actually be a practicing form for young men and women to actually enhance themselves or to stay occupied and keep the mind going. What actually happened to our people was that we got trapped, because the same simulations and the same thing that the video game does now is used in a matrix society. A matrix society that only projects untruth. It was a reason why you could not destroy your enemy, because your enemy was an illusion and an illumination that you would never be able to touch, because you was in a comatose state, paralyzed mentally, physically, and emotionally. Your emotions was not even really your own. They were puppeteered into a certain form. When we talk about the forbidden fruit of Adam and Eve, we must go back to the day in which you awaken to the knowledge that this is taking place with you and everyone else. And you begin to awaken to the fact that there is much that you didn't do or were able to do in a comatose state or in a dumbfounded state altogether. And it wasn't the fact that you was not warned, but the fact that Alzheimer's played its part, as well as dark persuasion devices and other things that stopped you from actually being the best you can possibly be. By the time you woke up, you found out that the people that put you on this slave plantation called the Matrix had complete control over you. See, we talk about the Matrix, but what we don't talk about is that this is a very truthful situation taking place in society that has taken place since biblical times. Egypt has reigned since biblical times off of a matrix type society. We talk about the impossibilities of certain things and how things is impossible, but I have to waken you to the fact that now education is no longer a free type behavior or something that you can afford to lose. But we're so doped up and drugged up in our schools as children, as teachers, as anybody, being clicked on and off at whoever's will, blanked out during certain times in school for a programming process where one whispers in your ears and say, I am going to rape you and your children tonight. Or the child that gets whispered in his ear or her ear, we sleeping with you tonight. But the child cannot see who this is abusing them, but only can feel the rapes all day and all night. And is forced to function in your matriarch society of matrix and pretend that it's all right. I speak these truths to you, video recorded for the world to hear, because no one knew that this betrayal was going to happen. Because your enemy said, lean on me and I'll be there for you too. But when you find out that your enemy never gave a dog on about you, when you were supposed to be released 20, 30, 40, 50,000 years ago, your enemy laugh and say, we ain't gonna release them. For what? These people are brilliant and intelligent. They will take us out before we know. But there was something about you that made you say, I am stupid, I am inadequate, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But all those were lies. Lies that you was forced to endure, lies that you was forced to deal with, because these people wanted you to accept defeat. Please wake up, people. Not wake up, but at least know that this is something we have to go to war with. When I laid down in my bed and I felt a person take something and cut my leg, that has always been a sign to my people that anything can go. They are out for blood. They will kill my family, your family, and anybody. When I witnessed a young woman who I know had not cut her arms up and her face up, but rather these same things that showing that they're out for blood did this to her, I knew right then and there that this was war. So they scream war flamboyantly, knowing that all the devices that you have in you, they have in them, but they are using them in a different way. Because you won't even remember war. Please pay attention, stay awake.